Hello everyone. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn about one of the key features of ServiceNow, that is orchestration. Well, do you really think what orchestration is and what the capability of that is? Basically, if you don't even know what is orchestration, I guess many of you guys might have listened to that orchestra where a group of people make some pleasant music or some beautiful music. So what those guys do basically, so those guys do it in a sequence. I mean, like if a drums guy is just having his drum beat, the other guy who's playing violin does it in sync with what the drum beat is. So on the whole, if you see, and the singer follows the orchestra. So if you see, on the whole, what actually happens is they follow a sequence or a pattern where on the whole they achieve what they want to achieve. So that is basically orchestra. But what is orchestration? Now, orchestration is nothing but the planning or coordination of elements of a situation to produce a desired effect, especially surreptitiously. So basically, this is the Oxford Dictionary meaning. So it's nothing but the coordination of the elements of a situation. Doesn't it seem similar to what I was talking about, the orchestra? Yes. So orchestration or orchestra is somewhat, that's where the meaning of orchestration derives from, and the name orchestra was given to that. So, well, now you guys might be thinking, where do we really use this concept of orchestration in ServiceNow? Well, there is nothing called orchestration in ServiceNow, but this kind of implementation is present, and that is done by using workflows. So, we are going to learn about workflows, and workflows is nothing but the orchestration. And in the initial tutorials, if you guys remember, I've said that ServiceNow is an ITSM tool, but it is used for a lot of automation in the IT processes. And this is one of the powerful feature which can be used for automating the processes. And you might be thinking, how? Well, I'll say now, let's take a simple example. Even if you take there is a problem in your company and they have raised an incident, and now this incident is assigned to some XYZ person, but that XYZ person cannot solve that without the approval of his manager. So what generally we do is, that guy has to approach the manager, he has to seek the permission, and then the manager says I approve it, and then this guy's the concerned guy come back and do the work and produce the solution for the incident. But don't you feel this manual work can be automated? Yes, they can be automated. Like how, if approval has been generated once the incident gets created, so it's obvious, then the manager gets a notification that, oh, okay, there was an incident raised and we need your approval. So this all things can be done as a process, and we can automate such things, and that automation can be clearly and perfectly achieved by workflows in ServiceNow. So let's understand what is a workflow, because before getting into the practical implementation, we need to have decent amount of idea what those actually mean. So a workflow is a sequence of activities for automating processes in applications. So it's again the sequence of activities, which is orchestration. So the workflow is also doing the same thing. So a sequence of activities like incident creation, approval for the manager, notifying them through the email. So these are all sequence of activities happening, and these are automated. So that's why a workflow is nothing but a sequence of activities for automating the process in applications. Now, that is workflow. You understood the background of what workflow and what orchestration is. Let's understand what are the different parts are there in workflow, and the different parts which are present in a workflow are activities, notes, transition. Okay, so now at least you got an idea what a workflow is. You might be wondering, how does it look in ServiceNow? And that's where there are different parts of workflow. If you see, a workflow is nothing but a diagrammatic representation, and where you have activity. That means what is the real execution which has to be done, activity which has to be done. And nodes are something which connect between each and every activity, and the connection is established by the transitions. I'll show you how a basic workflow look, or because when you took your developer instance, ServiceNow provides you a lot of workflows, by default workflows. So we are in our dev instance, and now what I'll do here is in the filter navigator you can search workflow. Yeah, so here within workflow you can see workflow editor. So you can just select workflow editor. It opens up in your new tab. So this is how you can reach the workflows, whatever are present within the ServiceNow. So it will load up, and once it loads up, I can show you the various ways how it looks like. Yeah, there you see. This is the UI of the workflows, and you can see there are lot of workflows within here which are present, and these are all workflows. These are all by default provided workflows. So I'll explain you about this window again in a more clear way, and I'll explain each and every terminology which is present here. That is what is published, what is checked out, what are different things. So first thing is you'll be in your welcome page, and here there are few workflows which are published, there are nothing which are checked out. So, and here you can see different work. These are all workflows. Let's take one workflow, that is change request. That's okay. Just click on that and you'll see the workflow, that is change request, is ready. There you go. You see a lot of, like a building plan. This looks similar to like an architecture, or like which module gets connected to which, similar to that, but pretty much easy to understand. So I was actually talking about there are different parts in the workflow, and these are that parts. If you see, begin is an activity, set the values, it's an activity, you run a script, this is an activity. So what all are these rectangular boxes are activities, and nodes are nothing but the small tiny squares that is yellow colored are the nodes, and the nodes is from where the output goes around. So here if you see, for each activity the node is from where the outward direction is. And what is transition? Transition is nothing but, if I click on this line, this is arrow, it's ash colored, and when I click it becomes blue color, and this is a transition. That is, it is transiting from set values to run script. So that connection was established because of these connectivity lines which are called as transitions. So this is how basically a workflow looks like, and these are the different parts of that. So activities are workflow blocks which perform different tasks such as obtaining approvals, sending email, running scripts, testing conditions, and setting field values on records. So these are pretty much less actually. There are many other things also which can be done in activity. If you want to know what all are those, you can go always to the core tab here. You can see the core. So in the core tab, you can see all the activities. These are all the core activities, and these are all the workflows. So that's what. So as I said, an activity can always be you can write and sending email, or running a script, or testing the if condition. It can be any such activity. And all workflows start with a begin activity and end execution with an end activity. So this is about the workflow begin and end activities. That is, every workflow actually has a begin and end activity. Here if you see this workflow, here we can see there is a begin activity and an end activity. So these two are mandatory. If you see, yeah, this is the end and this is the begin, because for any process or any flow there should be a beginning and there should be an ending, and that's the reason we always have a begin activity and the end activity.